Well, of course, I took some motivation from Ben Johnson tonight, and I wrote one thing on the board, and it was good, better, best. 7 o'clock tonight, I told our kids the oldest rivalry in the NFL with the Chicago Bears and the Green Bay Packers. When you have a chance to play a conference or divisional opponent, it means something, and you play it with pride. And the fact that we get to host it on our home court, we didn't take advantage of that last game. And I just said I needed their best effort for as long as they could sustain it. I needed their best effort. And Janiyah and Indy, that tandem, they took it to heart. We challenged them with 40 paint points last game, and we hit that. This game, I challenged them 60. We were 4 shy, but those two battled on the boards, and they understood the assignment and hit every mid-range, every low block shot that they could at a high percentage. They keep us poised. They keep us composed, but they push their teammates. T.T. Nelson was incredible moving the ball around, 6 assists with only 2 turnovers, and a team, the 20 assists on 36 baskets is pretty special. That should have been about 25, 26 assists, but in the fourth quarter that ball starts sticking a little bit. And when our team understands the more you move that ball, the better shot and the more wide open shots you're going to get. But I was proud of their effort and being able to sustain their energy throughout.
Coach, 97 points, the most you guys scored in a game since January of 2024. What was working so well for the offense today?
That inside out, just getting them to understand our long ball hasn't been falling consistently. And I try to tell them the pace that we want to play at, pressing a little bit more. But when you go inside out and get some and ones, that 3 is even more beautiful because you're putting people in foul trouble and you're getting into their bench, and that allows us to get on more runs that way. So it's not that I don't want to shoot that ball. I think we hit our first one actually, but it's going to open it up. The more we go inside, the more that 3 will open up for us. And they changed their defense because we were pounding it so hard. They went to the zone to try to protect the inside, and then we still moved it and got in. But that's why I think it's clicking, just because we're looking inside first.
Well, you mentioned that, going inside, you guys got 32 free throws off of 25 fouls drawn.
Yeah.
What was kind of the secret behind getting to the line a lot tonight? I know you've talked about that before, but what was clicking there today?
Just attack mode, and there's no rocket science to it. They decided to do it. We opened them up, and we've been there. We've been right where Valpo is. So when you're playing teams that are going through that, we just said, guys, you got to attack them. You got to attack them early and try to raise some doubt in there. But that's just what it was. And I'm not happy. If there's one area I'm not happy, it's in our free throw shooting percentage. We need to be above 75%, and we're 10% below that. But I do applaud the effort of being intentional of getting there.
And then last thing to wrap up here, Coach, Janiyah Thompson, you mentioned her a little bit ago, 25 points, 14 total rebounds, another double-double in the season. She seems to be coming alive more and more as the season goes on. How big is that for your team to see kind of that upperclassmen leadership start to really blossom here?
Yeah, it's huge. It's huge, and the kid deserves it. She was all riddled. Same thing she would have given us last year. She was just riddled with injuries last year. And sometimes when it's the end, you appreciate it a little bit more. You play a little bit more freely than you did as a freshman or a sophomore. And so she gets it. If she makes a mistake, we call it NBA, next best action. She doesn't let it linger. Whether the ball goes in or not, she's going to do something for her team, whether it's talking, getting our defensive alignment, staying on the board, throwing people where they need to be. She's our heart right now. And both those grandmas that are coming up here, I call them grandma as a term of endearment because their wisdom is what's leading us right now, and the locker room follows them.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
Appreciate you. Go Bears.